Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Warrior. In today's video, we're going to build a ChatGPT-like AI chat using Next.js 15, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, and Shadcn UI. We're going to use OpenRouter API to implement this chat application. So first, let me show you a demo of this chat application. So here we have a simple landing page, we have the welcome message and then a get started now button. So when I click here, it will open a model and it's for a authentication. And we're going to use Clark authentication here. So I'm going to teach you how you can integrate Clark authentication in your Next.js project. So here we have two options. We can use GitHub to sign up or Google. So I'm going to use Google. You can use email also. You can use sign up also using email and password. So let's use Google here, and then I'm going to select my Google account and then click here to continue. And now we are redirecting in our home page, and here now you can see it says start conversation now. If I click here, it will open our chat page, and here you can see we have our profile. So if I click here, and you can sign out or you can manage your account. So here you can upload your new profile picture if you want. You can add your email, you can connect other account. In the security, you can set a password and you can delete your account. You can see we have everything when we use Clark authentication here. We can manage our account and we can see some security measurement also here. So I'm going to teach you how you can integrate Clark here. And then we have some dummy history, and here let's start talking with this AI. Let's say build me a calculator using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So now I'm going to click here to send. So it's thinking, and you can see it's generated a code. And the most amazing part here, you can see the code is formatted here. So I'm going to teach you how you can format your code in the response. You can see this is the HTML code, CSS code and JavaScript code. All are properly formatted. The format you see in your text editor, not some rubbish text format for the code. You also have this text here that are not code will be show like this, and you can see it gave us a proper response. You can create text-based response, something like give me a 200-word story about a fox. So now if I click here to send, so it's thinking. Now you can see it give us a story about a fox in 200 words. So this is our project. So here you are mainly learn about the code formatting, the text formatting, how you can format your code text in the code format, how you can integrate OpenRouter API in your project for this AI support. And I'm going to also teach you how you can deploy your project in live server. So you're going to learn a lot of things here. So I encourage you to watch the full video. And if you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. The source code of this project will be given in the description. So without wasting any time, let's start building this AI chat application. Now we are going to set up our project. So for that, I'm going to create a new folder inside my PC and I'm going to name it AI chat. And then I'm going to open this with Visual Studio Code. And here I'm going to close my GitHub Copilot, and then I'm going to open a new terminal, and here I'm going to first initialize Next.js project. So I'm going to use npx create next app at the rate latest at the rate app@latest, and then I'm going to use a dot slash so that all the packages are installed in this AI chat folder. Now I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to click Y to proceed, and we're going to use TypeScript, and we're going to use ESLint. We're going to use Tailwind CSS. We do not need the source directory. We're going to use app router, and we're going to use turbo pack for faster development process. And for the import alias, we do not need to customize it. So now this will install all the necessary package to initialize a Next.js project. So let's wait to complete the installation. So the installation is completed. Next, we are going to install ShareCN UI. So if I go to the browser and search for ShareCN UI and then go to their website, and here you can see they have different types of example. They have different components. So first let's initialize this. So if I go to the installation and then select Next.js, and we need to run this, so I'm going to copy this and then paste it here and hit enter. So Y for proceed. So here we're going to use the neutral. So the installation is completed for the ShareScene UI. Now here we have a lot of files that are generated. So first we have this app folder, which is our main folder. So if I go to the app, here you can see we have a global.css where we have some global CSS files. We do not need to do anything here. Then we have this layout.tsx that wraps our overall application. For example, here we have children. So if you add a navbar and then a footer, then this navbar and footer will be attached to all the pages that you are going to create in this project. That means this layout wrap our overall project. And then we have this page.tsx. This page.tsx is the main page. When you go to the localhost 3000, this page will appear to the screen. So now I'm going to remove all of this from here, and I'm going to use RFC to create a component boilerplate, and I'm going to name this homepage. So if you wonder how I created a component boilerplate using a shortcut, so you need to install a extension. The extension you need to install is this one, ES7 React Redux and React Native Snippet. By installing this package, you can initialize component boilerplate using this shortcut RFC. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize a ShareCN component. So here you can see to add component. So we are going to add button. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it and hit enter. So it's added successfully. Now you can see we have this component, then UI, and inside this we have this button. So if you want, you can change some styling here, but the default is okay for us. Now let's go to the page.tsx. Now here we are going to check our tailwind CSS and ShareScene UI. So here I'm going to add some class name. So let's add a padding of 6, and then inside this let's add a p tag with home, and then add a class name text 5xl, and then I'm going to add a button, so which is coming from our component UI button, and let's say test button. So now if I hit save, and now if I run our project using npm run dev and then go to the browser and localhost 3000, and now you can see we have our bigger text and the button. That means our Tailwind CSS and Shadsen UI works properly. Now I'm going to remove this because we do not need it. Let's just add a home page text. So now here we just have home page. Next, in the public, I'm going to create a folder called images, and here I'm going to copy a images. And don't worry, I will give this images in the starter file. So let's copy this image and paste it here. So these are the image that we are going to use. That's it. And remove this button from here. Next, we're going to customize our font and metadata. Let's go to the layout.tsx, and here the Next.js give us some default font, but we are not going to use this. And here you can see it imported font from Google Font. So here I'm going to use interfont, and then I'm going to create a font constant and then use the inter, and we are going to use font weights, and we're going to use all of this, and then the subsets will be Latin. That's it. And for the metadata is very important for SEO purposes. So for the title, I'm going to use AI chat application, and here you can add something like a simple AI chat application built with Next.js and OpenRouter. OpenRouter API. That's it. Now here we're going to remove this and add our font dot class name. That's it. So now if I go to our project, if I reload the page, here you can see at the top we have AI chat application, and if I inspect and hover on this text, you can see it's using the interfont. That means our font and our metadata works properly. Now let's go to our home page. So this is it for our setup. Our project setup is completed. Now we are going to start building our home page. So if I show you the home page in the deployed version, here you can see we have an icon, some text and a button to get started now. So let's go to our home page, and before adding any code in the home page, if I show you the deployed version, here you can see we have a dark type background color. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my layout, and in the layout I'm going to add a background color. So bg and then hash 0a 0f 2c. We're going to add this background. So now here you can see we have this beautiful blue type background color. Now let's go to the page.tsx, and here the first div have a class name of flex. Flex will be in the column direction, items, center, justify center, min height, screen, px4, bg gray 950, bg center, and bg. So we do not need this bg center because we are not using any image here. So that's it. So now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our home page. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of flex. Flex will be in the column direction. Item center, justify between gap 6. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 150 pixel. Then we have height will be 150 pixel. bg gray 900, rounded full, flex. Then item center, justify center, and then flex will be in the column direction. That's it. Now inside this we're going to use an icon which is podcast icon from Lucid React, and when you install ShareScene you will automatically have access to this Lucid React. Now here we're going to add a class name of text white and size will be 100. That's it. So now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have this icon. Awesome. Next, after this div we'll have a h1, and I'm going to copy that text from here which is welcome to Pod Connect, and then we have a p tag, and I'm going to copy that text from here. So copy it and paste it here. Now here the h1 have some class name text for Excel, font bold, text white, text center. That's it. Now for the p tag we have a class name of text lg, text gray 300, text center, and max width MD. That's it. So now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our text welcome to Pod Connect, and then we have this subheading. Now next, in the deployed version we have a button for sign up for the authentication, and here for the authentication we're going to use Clerk authentication. So now let's start this authentication. So for that I'm going to search for Clerk auth. So then I'm going to open their website, and then I'm going to sign in, and now I am redirected to this dashboard. So here I can create an application. So let's add application name. So AI chat, and then you can use phone number also here to sign up, and you can use just phone number. So I'm going to use email here. You can turn on the username, email or username, or here you can use Google, Facebook, Apple, GitHub. So you can use 3 in the normal free version. So here let's use Google and GitHub. So that's it. and here they have all of the other options also that you can use. Now I'm going to click here to create application, and here I'm going to select Next.js, and then here you can see they give me a next public clerk publication publishable key and a secret key. So I'm going to copy this from here, and then in our project I'm going to create a environment variable. So dot in dot local, and here I'm going to paste the key here. So next public clerk publishable key and clerk secret key. That's it. We do not need to do anything here. Now here in the home page, so after this p tag, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if is sign. So we need to do something else first. So if I go to the clerk page, so here we need to install the clerk also. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to split the terminal and paste it here to install the clerk. And then we need to add this clerk middleware. If you want, you can add this middleware to protect some pages. If you don't want to protect anything, you can skip this. Then in the layout, we need to add a class provider, and then we need to use the sign up sign out options here. So let's go to our project. So it's installed, and first let's go to the layout, and in the layout at the top we're going to use clerk provider, and we're going to wrap everything in clerk provider. That's it. Now let's go to the home page, and here we're going to check first if is sign if is sign in, so we need to get it here. So const, we're going to get something from use user, and we will get this use user hooks from our clerk, and here we're going to import is signed in, and here we're going to check if not sign in, if the user is not signed in, and then we are going to use a sign in button, and here we're going to use a mode, and the mode will be modal. So a modal will open for the user to sign up, and here I'm going to use the check-in button with the text get started now, and here for the button, and also make sure to make it a client component. By default, all the Next.js component is server component, and in server component you cannot use hooks. To use hooks, you need to convert your server component to client component. So you can do this by using use client to convert your server component to client component. Now here the button, we're going to add the size. The size will be large. Then we're going to use a variant of secondary Then we're going to add some extra classes here. So cursor will be pointer, then width will be 64, height will be 64. No, we do not need the height, just width will be 64. Text large, font will be medium. That's it. And then we're going to use another check here. So if the user is sign in, and then we're going to use a link here from next link, and the href will be /chat. So this page is not implemented yet, but we're going to implement it later. So if the user is logged in, then we're going to add a button for the user to go to the chat page. And here I'm going to copy this button from here and paste it here, and I'm going to use start conversation now. Now I'm going to hit save. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have this get started now button. So if I click here, so it will open a modal where you can sign in with your email, you can sign in with GitHub or Google. So let's use Google. So it's redirect to this authentication page. So I'm going to use my account, then continue, and it will redirect to my application. And here now we have this start conversation now. So here we need to add another environment variable, which is this one. Next public clerk sign in URL will be /chat. That's it. So now if I go to our project, here you can see start conversation now. So if I click here, it will go to the chat page, but the chat page is not available now. So let's go back, and you can see it is still logged in. Now we are successfully implemented our clerk authentication. So now if I go to the clerk overview here, if I reload the page, here you can see one user, which is code.js, that the one I recently logged in. So if I delete the user from here, and let's reload the page, and let's get started now. And here the design changed because we used Google last time, so use Google again. Let's use this account. Click here to continue. We're using Clark, that's why it's redirected to our application. And now we are back to our application, and here we have this start conversation now. Awesome. And if I click here, it will go to the chat page. So now let's implement this chat page. So in the air, I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to use chat here, and then a page.tsx, and then rafc to create a component boilerplate, and then chat page. That's it. So now if I go to our project, so here you can see we are in the chat page. Awesome. Now for the application, we are going to use OpenRouter to chat with AI. So I'm going to open here OpenRouter, and then open their website, and then sign in using my account, and I'm successfully logged in. Then I'm going to go to these keys, and I'm going to create a API key here, and let's click here. So give a name like AI chat, and then click here to create. So this will give us a security key. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to open my browser and go to the, not browser, my text editor, and here I'm going to use next public open router API key, and then I'm going to paste my API key here. That's it. So this will provide us the model that we're going to talk. So this will give us the ChatGPT vibe here. So that's our open router API key. That's it. Now I'm going to close this, and this is our chat page. Now let's start implementing this chat page. So first I'm going to convert this into a client component using use client, and then here we're going to first get something, and we're going to use our user hook from Clark, and we're going to import is signed in and is loaded. That's it. Next I'm going to create a router, use router from next navigation, and then I'm going to use effect hooks here, and an empty dependency array. Inside this we're going to check if is loaded, that means the user is loaded, and after the load we observe that the user is not signed in. In that case we are going to push our user to the home page, and now we need to add this is loaded, is sign in, and router as a dependency here. That's it. Then we're going to create a ref, and I'm going to call this nref. So this is for that when you send a message and the AI give a response, you will automatically scroll to the bottom, to the end of the response, and that's why we're using this nref. And here I'm going to use ref hooks, which is a type of HTML div element, and initially this one will be now. That's it. Then I'm going to create another state variable for messages and set messages, and here I'm going to use state, and we're going to pass a type, and initially this one will be an empty array. Now inside this type we'll have an object, and here the sender will be user or AI, and then the text will be string, and this one will be an array. That's it. So this is our message and set message router. Then not router, the state variable. Sorry. Next I'm going to use input and set input. Let's use state, and initially this one will be an empty string, and then a loading button. So loading and set loading, use state, and initially this one will be false. That's it. Then we're going to use a use effect, and here we have a dependency array, and inside this use effect we're going to use endref dot current, and then dot scroll into view, and then the behavior will be smooth, and we'll run this when there is a change in messages. That's it. Then we'll have our send message function. So this one will be an async function, and inside this we're going to first check if there is no input dot trim. Then what we're going to do is we're going to return. That's it. And then we're going to create a new message, and the sender will be user or AI, and text will be string. So the new message constant will be a type of this object type. And then here we're going to use sender to user, and text will be input. That's it. Then we're going to set our messages, and we'll get the previous state, and we're going to add the new messages to our previous state. So we are going to spread, copy all of the value from the previous state and add these new messages. So these are set messages. Then we're going to set our input, then empty string, and then set our loading to true. That's it. After that, we're going to use a try catch and finally. Try catch and then finally. So in the finally, so if it is error or if it is success, we're going to set our loading to false. Now in the try case, we're going to use const res. We're going to use await, and we need to install a package which is Axios. So I'm going to use npm I Axios, which is a very popular library for the request. So it's completed. So await Axios dot post, And here we're going to add our URL. The URL is https, and this will given to the OpenRouter docs. If you want, you can check this. So I'm going to type it here, and here OpenRouter.ai slash API slash v1 slash chat slash completions. That's it. And then here we're going to pass the model. The model will be OpenAI slash GPT 3.5 ish turbo. That's it. Then we're going to pass the messages, and here inside this we're going to spread our messages, and we're going to map through it. We'll get individual message, and then inside this we're going to use role m.sender. If it is user, then user, otherwise assistant. Then the content will be m.text. That's it. And then after the message here we're going to use role, and this one will be user, and then content will be input. That's it. So don't worry, I will provide the full code for free, and the code will be in the description. So these are role and content input. That's it. After that we're going to pass the headers, and here the headers will be, we need to pass the authorization, and here we're going to use bearer, and then process dot env dot next public OpenRouter API key, and then content type will be application slash JSON. That's it. So this is our response. So after getting the response, we'll get const AI reply. This one will be res.data.choices 0 dot message dot content. That's it. And then we're going to set our messages. We'll get the previous state, and then we're going to copy all of these from the previous state, and here at the sender will be AI, and text will be AI reply. That's it. So this is our set message. Now for the error case, we're going to console log and we're going to use OpenRouter API error, and then we're going to log the error, and we're going to use set messages. So basically I'm going to copy this from here and paste it here, and we're going to get the previous state, the sender is AI, and here the text will be something went wrong. That's it. So this is our send message function. Awesome. After completing the send message function, we're going to check if the user is not loaded or user is not signed in. Then we're going to return a div with class name of flex justify center, then item center, height screen, text white. That's it. And here the text will be loading. That's it. So this is a loader. Then here the first div have a class name of flex mean height screen, overflow will be hidden, bg gray 900. That's it. Then inside this div we're going to use the aside tag, and here this aside tag have a class name of hidden, and in medium string this will be flex. That's it. Now inside this aside we're going to create a sidebar component. We're going to create a separate component for the sidebar. So if I show you the deployed version, and you can see this is our sidebar. So in the component I'm going to create a sidebar.css, and I'm going to use RFC to create a component boilerplate, and then in our chat page I'm going to add our sidebar. That's it. Now we're going to use a shared scan component here. The component we're going to use is this one, sheet. So you can see this will open this sidebar. So first we need to add this. So I'm going to copy this from here and then paste it here to install the sheet. Now let's go to the sidebar.tsx, and here the first div have a class name of flex. Flex will be in the column direction, width will be 64, position will be fixed, top 0, left 0, height will be screen, then bg will be hash 0b1733, and then border will be right, border wide, border wide /10, and then text white. That's it. So now if I hit save, if I go to our project, so here you can see we have our sidebar with the text sidebar. Now here inside this div we'll have another div with class name of padding 4 text excel, font bold, and inside this one will be AI chat. That's it. So here you can see we have the text AI chat, just like this one. Then after this div, we have another div with class name of margin top 4, flex, items center, spacx 2, padding 4, text large, font semi bold, cursor pointer. That's it. Now inside this we'll have an icon which is file edit icon, and this one will have a class name of width 4, height 4, and then we have a span with the text new chat. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have new chat, just like this one. Now after this div, we have another div with class name of flex1, overflow y, auto. That's it. Now inside this div we have a h1 with the text recent history, and this h1 will have a class name of px4, margin top 4, text gray 400, text small, font semi bold, and cursor pointer. That's it. So now if I hit save, so this is the recent history. Then we have some dummy history. So after the h1 we have a ul with class name of space y2, padding 2. That's it. Now inside this ul we have a 3 li. So first li have a class name of p2, in the hover the bg will be white /10, and then round it. That's it. And inside this let's add a dummy one like monstack roadmap. So now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our monstack roadmap, just like this one. We can use a cursor pointer, then I'm going to copy it 2 more time. Next one, let's say what is Next.js, and for the last one let's say Next.js versus React. Yes. So now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our recent history. Awesome, just like this one. So next, after the ul and after this div, we have another div with class name of padding 4, text small, and text gray 400, and inside this will be settings and help. So now if I hit save, and here you can see at the bottom we have settings and help. Awesome. So this is our sidebar. Next we're going to make it responsive. So let's go to the chat page. So here after this we'll have a div with class name of flex. Flex will be in the column direction. Flex will be 1. In medium screen, margin left will be 64. Now inside this we have a div with class name of flex item center, then justify between px4 py3 text white. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of in medium screen. This one will be hidden, and inside this div we are going to use the sheet that we install. So this one is coming from component UI sheet, and then inside this we have a sheet trigger, and this one will be as child, and inside this we have a IO menu, so here we are going to use React icon. So let's install React icon. So npm I react icons. So let's wait to install this package. So this is installed successfully. Now we are going to import this from React icon, and this one will have a size of 22, and class name will be cursor pointer. That's it. Then after the sheet trigger we'll have a sheet content, and inside this we'll use our sidebar, and this sheet content have a side, left, and it will have some class name, padding 0, bg will be hash 0b1733, text white, and width 64. So now if I hit save, so this is our sheet content, and then after this sheet and this div will have an span with class name of text excel font bold. That's it. And inside this span we'll have AI chat. That's it. Then we have a div with class name of flex items center gap 4. Then inside this we have a button. So here we are going to use regular button, and inside this button we are going to use a FA share icon from our icon library, and the size will be 18, and this button we'll have a class name of padding to hover bg wide /10 and rounded full. That's it. And then after this button, we'll have a user button. That's it. So now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have this AI chat, this share icon, and this user. And if I click here you can see our email. We can manage our account. You can upload profile picture, add emails, and all of these. In the security section, you can change password and all of this. Awesome. So our Clerker works perfectly. So you can sign out. Here you can see we are redirected to localhost 3000. Let's sign in again using Google. And we are login and we can start a conversation now and we are redirect to this page. Awesome. So this is our sidebar. So before that, let's check this responsiveness. Here you can see in mobile devices we have this icon. So if I click here, this will open. So we have an error that dialog content. So these are not important. And here you can see it's open and close perfectly the sidebar. So if you want, you can disable this warning using this empty dialog content in your dialog box. So this is the same dialog content requirement that is give us this warning. Awesome. So our functionality works properly, our responsiveness and the sidebar. Awesome. Next, after this div, we have another div with class name of flex1 in medium screen. Width will be 80%. Otherwise, width will be full mx auto overflow y auto and padding 4 in medium screen px will be 8. That's it. Now for the message section we are going to create a separate component. So in the component I'm going to create a message bubble.tsx and I'm going to use RFC to create a component boilerplate. That's it. Now in the chat page inside this div, I'm going to loop through the messages and map through it. We will get the message and the index, and inside this we are going to return a message bubble from component, and here we're going to pass a key which is the index, and then we're going to pass the sender which is message dot sender, and then a text which is message dot text. That's it. And here we're going to also check if the loading is true, then we're going to use message bubble and here we're going to use the sender will be AI, and the text will be thinking. That's it. And then we'll have a self-closing div, and here we're going to pass our ref, which is the end ref. That's it. Now we have to receive these props in our message bubble, and we also need to implement the message bubble. So let's go to the message bubble here. We'll get the props, so type props, and then the sender will be user or AI, and the text is string. That's it. And here we're going to pass the props, and we're going to import the sender and the text. Here we're going to install a packages for the codes. So here we have a problem, I think. Let's go to our chat page. Here this part will be inside this tick. So now if I hit save, now the design looks okay. Next we need to install a package here. The package we are going to use is React syntax highlighter. So this is a package. It's very popular package. So I'm going to copy it from here. So copy this and paste it here to install. Here they have some documentation that you can learn more about it if you want. So here in the message bubble, first I'm going to import something from React syntax highlighter, and here I'm going to import prism as syntax. So here we need to install the type also. So I'm going to copy this to install the corresponding type for this package. So here I'm going to import prism as syntax. So syntax highlighter. That's it. And then I'm going to import something from React syntax highlighter slash dist slash esm slash styles slash prism. And here I'm going to import Okaidia. That's it. Now inside this, first I'm going to create a regex to detect code blocks. Here I'm going to create a code regex, and this one will be slash this one, and inside this dash w plus then the question mark. If you want, you can search this and you will get the code regex for this. You do not need to remember or learn all of this. Then we have n, then again the first bracket, third bracket, slash s slash s, and basically this one. And don't worry, I will give this code so you will have access to this. Then after this code regex, we're going to create a const parts, and parts will be a object with type text or code, and then the content will be a type of string. Then the language is optional and it is type of string, and the parts will be an array. Initially this one is empty array. That's it. Then we're going to create a last index will be 0. Then we're going to create a variable called match. That's it. Then we're going to create a while loop while there is a match. So match will be code regex dot exec, and then the text, and if it is not equal to null, in that case we're going to check if match dot index is greater than last index. Then we're going to use parse dot push, and the type will be text, the content will be text dot slice last index to match dot index. That's it. Then after this if statement, we're going to use parse dot push, and here the type will be code and content will be match at 2. Then language will be match 1, otherwise text. That's it. Then the last index will be code regex dot last index. That's it. So this is our while loop. After that we're going to check if last index is less than text dot length, then parts dot push and here the type will be text and content will be text dot slice to last index. That's it. So this is our complex part. Then inside this div, the div will have a class name of, and this one will be a template literal, margin y2, heading 3, rounded, excel, max, with 80%, and break quartz, and then we're going to check if the sender is user, then the self and bg blue 600 text white. That's it. Otherwise, self start bg gray 800 text white. That's it. Now inside this we're going to map through parts. So parts dot map will get the individual part and index, and we're going to check if part dot type is equal to code. In that case we're going to use syntax highlighter, and inside this will be part dot content, and the syntax highlighter will have a key of index, then the language will be part dot language, then a style will be idea, then wrap lines, show line numbers, and class name will be rounded md. That's it. And otherwise so here we are having some problem. So this one will be class name rounded md. That's it. And now inside this will be a p tag with part dot content. and here we need to pass the key will be index and class name of white space pre-wrap. That's it. So this is our message bubble section. Now let's go to our chat page. So here we have completed this message bubble section. Then after this we have another div with class name of padding for medium screen px8 medium screen with 80% with full MX auto. That's it. Now inside this we have another div with class name of rounded to them px3 py2 bg gradient to r from. Then we are going to specify a color 1928 4b54 and then 2, and here we are going to specify a class 0b173396. That's it. Border wide /10, backdrop blur will be large, shadow LG, then flex will be in the column direction, gap will be 3. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of flex item center and padding 2. Then inside this div we have a IO add icon, and this icon have a class name of text white 80/80 and margin right 3. That's it. And this one will be a size of 22. That's it. So now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have this icon and this text box. Then after this icon we have a input of type text, placeholder will be ask anything, then the value will be input, and the on change will get the event and set input to e.target.value. That's it. Then on key down we'll get the event, and we're going to use if e dot key is equal to enter, then we're going to call the send message. That's it. Then we have some class name. This one will be flex1, bg transparent, text white, placeholder white /60, focus outline none. That's it. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have our text box like ask anything, and next we have this send button. Now after this div, we will have another div with class name of flex gap 2 margin left 3. Inside this we have a button, and in the button on click we are going to run our send message function, and this one will be disabled when the loading is true, and this one have some class name of flex text white item center cursor pointer gap 1 px6 ui 1.5 rounded full bg white /40 over bg white /50 in transition. That's it. Now inside this button we're going to use an IO search, and here the size will be 16, and then span with the text send, and the class name will be text small. That's it. So now if I hit save and go to our project, now you can see X anything and this send button. Let's try to send some message. So let's say build me a calculator using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If I send and it's thinking, and boom, it gives us the response, and you can see everything looks amazing. The HTML code is properly formatted, the CSS code is formatted, and the JavaScript code is also formatted. Awesome. Now add something like the text content. So give me a 200-word story about the coder. So it's thinking again, and boom, it gives us the story, and you can see we are scroll to the down to the end. Awesome. So our application works perfectly. Our OpenRouter API works properly, and it gives us the response, and our code is properly formatted. So this is it for this project. Next, we're going to deploy this project in live server. Now we're going to deploy our project in Vercel. So before that, we need to push our project in GitHub. So first, I'm going to open my GitHub account. And here I'm going to create a new repository. So new repository, and the repository name will be AI chat app, and this one will be public, and then create repository. So repository is created. Now let's go to our code and stop the terminal. So clear all of this. First use git init, then git add dot, then git commit dash m, then a message first commit, and now we have done this. Next git branch dash m main, then we need to add the remote origin. So copy this, paste it here, and then git push to origin main. So copy this and paste it here. This will push our project to GitHub. So it's completed. Now if I reload the page, here you can see we have our project. Next, I'm going to open Vercel, and this will open the Vercel dashboard. If you don't have any account, you can create one for free. And here I'm going to add a new project, and then I'm going to import this AI chat app that I just pushed in my GitHub. So import, and then we need to add the environment variable here. So let's go to our project, so int.local. So first we have this, next public Clark publishable key. So copy this, paste it here, and then paste the value. That's it. Then click here to add more, then the Clark secret key, and then copy this, paste it here, add more. So we do not need this next public Clark sign in URL. So I'm just going to add this OpenRouter API. So copy this and paste the value. That's it. So now click here to deploy. So this will start the deployment. So the deployment started. Let's wait some time to complete the deployment. The deployment is completed. Click here to continue to dashboard. Now here it gives us a domain. So if I click here, this will run in the live server. So this is AI chat application. So click here. So we have the authentication. So use the Google, use this Google account, continue, and we are redirected to our application. So now if I click here to start conversation, we are in the chat page. Let's build something. So let's build a quiz app using Next.js. So now if I send this and it's thinking, and boom, it gives us the code. You can see it gives us the quiz data, the quiz component, and all of this. Awesome. So our project is perfectly working in the deployed version. Everything works properly. You can check your profile here, the manage profile, and all of this. So our project is completed. If you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section, and the full source code will be given in the description for free. So that's it for today. Thank you.